designer, artist, shaper, storyteller, he makes me better. Judith makes me better. And I think if you, no, but if you find people that can make you think better, you should always be loyal to them. The good thing about Rotterdam, it's so damn ugly that everything you make is more beautiful. Yeah. So no, it's really true. It's
you have some nice architecture from a certain point.
Okay, you have one panorama view if you're like coming from one street and you see the nice bridge and all the new buildings, and at a certain moment you move and everything starts to be ugly. But I think it's a very good environment. It's like a neutral canvas. Yeah. You know, if everything around you is beautiful, it's far more hard for your mind to just relax and say, well,
it's less cultivated. Like Amsterdam, everything is already like each corner, everything is painted and
it's like a public museum, no?
Yeah, and there your creative space is much less than here. So actually, we like to be here a lot. So you can say, why don't you leave an ugly city? But ugly is good.
Yeah, it's also that you feel that nothing. Holland is very organized, regulated, but this whole Rotterdam feels a little bit like nomad city. You know, you can move around and you can. Well, we can sit on the harbor the whole day and build a campfire, and nobody's going to kick you off. Just because.
Try that in Amsterdam.
Yeah,
you know, helicopters will be above you.
Yeah, so it's for us as artists more freedom. And if you need a big space, you're a movie maker or whatever, you can't afford that in Amsterdam, and you can here.
Yeah.
So that's I think main thing is it's just cheap and ugly, and that's really good. Yeah. And it's like a magnet. Vincent de Rijke is a little bit the godfather of this building. And because he can really, he also teaches at the academy, he took us here, you know, he invited Joris Laarman, Christine Meinersma, other people, and then, so a lot of generations just come here, and if the magnet is on, then it's just on.
And it's very good, you have the older generation on the top mostly, or not that old, but a little bit more experienced than us, and like we just started, we were just finished. What is a studio? Like, what do you do if a gallery calls you? All those small and very important questions or answers, they helped us with it. Yeah, so that was walk very upstairs good. You have a combination of old and new together. It helped us a lot.
Yeah, and I think the people around here, they want to share information. And if you, I think when you don't protect your information, you can only get better of it. And in the creative world. So I think the more we talk with each other, the more I can make your idea better and you can make my idea better. So I think that's also the way why we work very well with the three of us. Judith isn't here now, but each person can be their own person instead of that there's like a company setting, and we don't feel like that. I feel still as a student every day. You get a nicer apartment where you can live in, but the essence of that you come in and that you do something with a group, I hope we never lose that. Because you can have your own design studio with your name on it. It's very plain, very simple, but you should use each other's talents. At least that's our thing. So I think the more you share and the more chaos you create, and then sometimes total silence, then stories start. In empty rooms you can also get stories, but at a certain moment you have to go out. So yeah, we don't have a secretary, we don't have an office manager, we don't have this. I wish we had them, but we are now exactly now in a transition. We had the first show that was very successful. Now that gives us the opportunity to not only invest in our own projects, but to also invest in giving us more time. Because I'm doing a lot of boring paperwork.
Yeah, a lot.
Sometimes too much for my
sake.
For my sake. Yeah, so at a certain moment you need it, but it should never be like, oh, now I have an office, a design office, so I should have somebody at the reception and this and whatever.
Yeah, it depends also like what you want. Like how big does your company should be. Like, when are you happy? Like we are actually very happy with this size. Like sometimes when a project grows, you get all the interns because we have a lot of applications. So the moment we need them, we can choose, and freelancers are also there. So in that sense, we like to breathe, no, like expand your lungs sometimes, and then we inhale.
Yeah, not fully. We just made an agreement that in the studio we're only gonna hire freelance people. Well, maybe one secretary or an office manager who gets our. Sometimes we're too chaotic, and I want to get that out. But that's like a small little detail. But freelance keeps also the freelancers happy, because you know they work and they're not having to go to work, sit at this moment. No, they are there because they're talented. And they know that, and they feel that. So, well,
I can imagine like what is part of our success is that we're very naive, and sometimes totally not realizing what kind of world is around us, in the sense of how important it all is, and who the people are that are sitting in front of you. Like when the MoMA called, like, my brother was asking, who are they, MoMA? So Museum of Modern Art. That was in the beginning when we graduated. So that like we were not busy with like, oh, what are we gonna do? Who is important now? The designers. Like we were only busy in our own little world. We lived on a farm and we liked to play around there.
Yeah, don't read design magazines. As a student,
don't
just don't read
like,
design magazines.
And why is that guy successful? I'm gonna try to do that same, because that's, I think, happening right now in Eindhoven. There was before the crisis, there was like the sky was a limit. It was crazy, like all just the graduates asking like 30,000, 40,000 for a chair and limited it, and all of a sudden it was just like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
And we were just in that lift.
Before that lift, you mean?
Yeah, like Maarten Baas started it also a little bit, and Joris.
No, it went like from a normal academy to a really good crazy place, and then suddenly it went over the top, and then the crisis came. For us, it was the most perfect time to work in. Yeah. Everywhere, a lot of industries opened up that normally had closed doors.
Yeah, they even like industries like a car company that called us back, just from, hey, I know that you wanted to reach us.
And normally they just do containers and shiploads, and now they want to do one art project. Yeah. So for us, it was a perfect time. We had Lee de Graauw. She walked around, you know, she almost floated. We couldn't touch her. For us, she was also big. So she just went around with a list and she picked you. And if she picked you, you were skyrocketed.
Yeah, we had so much, like, it's bizarre because normally you're a student and you don't know what an interview is, and you don't know what a camera on your face is, and all of a sudden, like, everybody's writing down your words, and like, what are you writing down? Yeah. And we had so many interviews, like it was really a bombardment, that we got a crash course in how that world worked really fast. That, like, there were a few people selected in Milan, and they had their opportunity. They were standing there and they were like, June is coming, and they were super talented, but they could not sell their idea.
No, they
not sell it in the sense they could not communicate their passion, and they lost. We were actually getting or standing next to other works from other designers, our friends, like explaining to journalists, no, because
look how amazing it is, you know, because the artists were standing there like
super shy, and like we saw it happening, and then we could not. So we also tried to just get that passion.
So communication, I think, is an essential thing. If you can communicate your story to the world, then. It's much easier to convince investors, galleries, clients, because often you're with a client that also doesn't understand your world, and you have to convince him that this is really a good idea, and you just made a blurry sketch. Yeah. So you have to get him to be amazed. Yeah, and think, you know, that he opens up and says, let's do this.
Yeah, and I think it's very, very good if you decide to start your own studio, to get friends that are also can be investors for you. So you have to be a little bit. No, we didn't make any plans, but we have some investors now. So they already understand that you don't have to explain everything anymore. They just we show them ideas and they just pick one out.
And we almost never sign contracts.
No, also no gentleman's agreements.
Gentleman's agreements. Because if you get like, I want to have a secrecy agreement because I have this brilliant idea, forget about it. They don't even want to talk to you. But that's our theory.
Yeah, but that's also a little bit in our world, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, if you work for like Philips, you have to sign contracts.
Yeah. we don't go to Milan every year.
No.
It's 6 years ago that we went to Milan, and because we didn't want to get stuck in the fact that you have to produce one nice thing a year, and present it, and it has to be good. Then we thought, yeah, maybe it's going to take us 10 years. Yeah. You know, is that also good? You know, just I don't know, also to keep yourself not boxed in. We don't go to a lot of openings. We don't read a lot of design magazines.
We like parties, but it's not. I'm not going to go to a party because there are important people there.
No, it's just that we get more and more inspiration out of the science world, movie world, the surroundings around us. And that creates stories. No, a lot of these stories are created with things that you don't agree on, and that you think there's so many products made with so many fantastic tools. Why are we using them in such a way? You see cars, and 99% of the cars you think, why? You have all these robots and all these machines and talented people. Why have they to be so ugly? So. Just and then suddenly you start to think in your own world, okay, we're going to make something nice with those robots. And we're going to make a story with that. And I think the whole design world and art world is only about telling stories. Even a painting is something about telling a story. And not the economical thing in how high this glass is. I think that's a different design world.
Yeah, that's product development.
Okay. Yeah.
So we leave that to people that are very good at that. Like, actually you should recognize your own weakness, because then you know who to hire to complete the project. But we just really love things that had time so long, that how many products are made and how many survive for 80 years. So if it must be a special thing, no? And even if it's a worthless glass that survived for 50 years, I think it's valuable. Yeah. And I don't know, we are just sensitive to things that lasted so long to develop, and we are building a speaker, loudspeaker, together with a violin builder, because that craftsmanship is hundreds of years old, but they only make violins. Yeah. So maybe if we put it in a different context, we can use all of that knowledge into a new product. Yeah. Well, just I think flipping around stories in different contexts, and then you create a new story. Yeah, and recognition. It's not always like that at the Cinderella Table, but it still is recognition hidden in it, the contours.
And you understand it more, no? Yeah. If you make it, if we made the Cinderella Table an anonymous blob, then nobody would, I think, be as amazed as now, because now you think, oh yeah, original furniture, suddenly in a different context, these old furniture makers made things from wood, and well, you just start to think a little bit different. At least that was the goal, you know. Maybe some people think whatever, but in that time, when we made it, people stopped for a little bit and said, I don't understand how this is made. And that was exactly what we wanted. Modern craftsmanship, made by computers, made by sketching, made by robots, that can still have the same amazement as a Louis XVIII, XIV cabinet made by 60 craftsmanship.
Yeah, and amazement in the sense that you have different kind of people, not lower or higher, but more here and there. For example, construction guys, they have a different way of seeing things, and if you can inspire even those people that normally not and don't know this world, and mostly also a little bit scared about it in the sense like, oh, there's art, whatever.
Yeah, art is this, no, this, and then you put this and then this is art.
Yeah, and they don't understand it, and I also don't understand it. So that's why we also don't like museums mostly. But if they understand it, I think then you have something very good. Yeah. Not only construction guys, but just people that are normally not in your world, and you can still amaze them. Yeah. What we do, we have main designers, like the project leaders, and around that we design things. This is Judith was the project leader of these two objects. Actually, graduation work, and this was also graduation work, or just after it, no? Just after it.
I think just after it.
Yeah.
They also belong.
And it's also about storytelling. It's just that when you put it like this, it's off, and there's a battery that you can recharge. And just when in the early days you were like candles walking like this in the house, so we wanted to create that same feeling or an image that you could not have only a flashlight, but just really like with a romantic touch to it. And this was more on how they made shoes. In Holland you had a big culture about shoe companies and craftsmen. It now disappeared, unfortunately. But the technique is based on that. So we, yeah, all the stitches, it was really hard because this is trespa, it's a sort of plastic, to stitch through here, and eventually you get a very strong chair. They still sell it, but it's not in huge numbers, because this is 1,200 euros. So that's the discussion what we had. It's all hand labor. There are no machines helping. It's all like craftsmen, people making it.
There's a few big molds to vacuum the, well, but it's the only reason why, for instance, this worked and this didn't is because we got a reaction on this and we didn't on this. So if we don't get a reaction, we just put it here and say, well, that was a nice project. Next, go on. If somebody doesn't like the story, then we're not going to push it in the world.
No, but we invested a lot for our studio in that time to have the ceramics, to have everything like exactly what we wanted. This is all custom made. So it's a lot of, and also bending this. Yeah, no, we spent a lot of money. There was a guy sitting next to us in this same space, but a different company. He said, like, what are you, that you dare to do that? Like, invest so much money in a product that you don't have a client, you don't have somebody that is investing in it. But I think because we also have self-initiated projects, not only like people asking us, we continue our brains, our inspiration, and this maybe can come in handy in another way. I was just on my bicycle and there were like industrial area with all the chain link fences. I don't know if you have that also in your place, but in Holland they only use chain link fence. And in one spot it was broken and they used a foreign wire to fix it, but just randomly, like somebody didn't really put any effort in doing it nicely. And that triggered my mind. Like just if you direct that into a more, into your design.
Much more, yeah.
And there it grew and grew and grew. But what is really nice, I think, if there's an idea that, and what is good about, I think, this idea, and I never thought about it that it had that strength, but is that people now starting to have their own interpretations and creative ideas. So architects come to us like they want to make a ceiling. It's actually now happening for Sweden. We were very lucky to have a factory in India because we just had a big architect company call us, say, can you produce this? And we just said, of course we can. And then we had a problem. We could not produce. But we had a friend in India who had a really rich father in the construction world. They gave us a little plot of land, and Joep lived there for 2.5 years. And after 2.5 years, we started working on other things and projects. And the last 2.5 years, we didn't have almost no income because we worked on new pieces. And we're working a lot of freelancers, paying a lot of companies to make tests and products, and the company in India made that possible. Because you have like 30, like we have 35 permanent people, and then like the studio you expand if it's necessary. But there are 35 families. So that means you get a very big responsibility. Actually, we realized after, when the factory got more orders, because first we thought like only one project and it will be finished. Now it's growing. It's good that all of a sudden you have a factory and you have to keep them busy. So, and sometimes we are only project based. We don't have any stock. And it's like only when a project comes in we produce. So then we started thinking it's very smart to also have some more steady production line going next to it, and we're going to design new fences for sure, but we didn't have the time yet. Because we had a project first in Shanghai and there and after in Taipei for a huge company like L'Oreal, but then in Asia. And they asked us to design a whole resort, so architecture. And it was a collaboration between us and Joris Laman, and Todd Boontje also. So all of a sudden we were architects, landscape architects, but also like really creating buildings. Yeah. It didn't go through, by the way. I think maybe a copy is now standing somewhere in China. But it was a bizarre experience, but it was also perfect, because normally you think as an architect, but we came from a different direction. Yeah. And so that was really a lot liberating. You know, we just small, what we did is, the symbol of that area was a fish.
So what we did is, and they never reuse anything. They just demolish it and make something new. So what we thought, would it not be really great to collect all the old, because the poorer people that build houses use second-hand doors and windows. Would it not be really nice to collect a lot of beautiful old windows, modern windows, and make a box, a skin that can breathe. So in the morning it wakes up with you. So windows go open, levers go
it's like
open up.
A building with like the fish that has the queues.
Yeah. So well, that the building breathes with you instead of it just being an static object that looks nice.
So playing with light and air, because it was very humid and warm climate. So we had to do so we wanted to have the building itself to be a natural AC.
Yeah.
So that's how now anything like.
But we
like
had to convince the client that reusing an old window wasn't low class.
Yeah, they thought like, what? That's for the poor people. What are you doing?
Yeah. We need Gucci windows. No, not a poor man's window. But we tried to explain that window had a life. It's much more valuable than something new. So if you put it in a different context, it's even more new than this Gucci window. But at a certain moment. Well, the mother of the daughter that owned the company came in and she changed the whole plan and well, then it went
started
crazy.
With 90 people for the resort and eventually 600. Yeah. We said, now we have a solution, we're gonna just put all the people underground. Like she was looking at us and we were also looking like, yeah, what do you want from us? Like 600 guests.
You wanna have a flat building?
Like
yeah, it was too small, the whole area.
Anyway, it was bizarre project.
Bizarre, yeah, and
we learned a lot.
At a certain moment I
Get
remember
paid in advance.
Yeah. No, but I remember where it went wrong. We were sitting like there with like staff directors and all Chinese big shot of the companies, and we were all these Dutch kids sitting on the other side. And in a certain moment, somebody made a Dutch joke, and we couldn't get out of our laughing, and we started even crying.
Yeah,
that people had to go out.
You always had to leave the meeting, and it was a super important meeting.
Yeah, you know, all suits, and we lost the assignment right there.
No. I think we lost because we were just not accepting that 600.
We
were not accepting. They said like. They wanted to do it for free, so that it would be an investment for our career, but it's $1 billion company, like why for free? We don't have money. Yeah. Give it a little bit to us, no? Share it. We share ideas. So we were not agreeing, but eventually it became such a weird discussion that we said, okay, fine, we'll do it for free, but then we want to be on all the buses of China.
Yeah. With our faces on like this.
And we fine, then we arranged it. We had something, no man, that was a joke.
Yeah, it's not the point.
No, but anyway, it was a crazy project. Yeah.
But I want to show you this little prototypes that never ever got published or reacted on, but we really liked them. This was before iPhone, before anything. There was the big Nokias were the thing of the wow, and we thought we missed a certain element of realness. Like these things could also be a razor. They could, next time if they flow to you, nobody would be amazed anymore. They just accepted it as another gadget. So we thought, let's make something that you can give still to your grandchildren, but it can adapt to the modern thing of adapting software and interface. Yeah. So this is just based on a tool, like a fast tool, drilling machines and tools. You can hammer a nail in it, and you just need a basic thing to turn, and this is it. You know, and you also have these telephone pole, these big phones. But we wanted character in this little thing, instead of an anonymous box made from plastic. You know, this should be cast iron, and well, okay. This one, we thought the body of the whole phone should be the body, and then during time designs change, things change.
It's like a watch.
Yeah.
You upgrade your watch.
Yeah.
So you keep this, or maybe you can change this, but you keep the body, and you can always make it digital, whatever you want.
Yeah. This was really based on a watch, how things work. You can have your grandfather's watch, but you can't have your grandfather's phone.
Mm.
So and we missed the feeling of paper.
If you have a text message, a very emotional I love you text message. It's just in that machine. You want to get it out. So we, you normally have it with cash registers. It's like they
small printer.
Yeah, but it's not like it's just with heat.
Yeah.
Hey, if you put it in the sun, it also disappears. So the technique is there to print your messages, and that was like because we were amazed. Like, you know, you send it a little message, it goes up to the sky, into the universe, and comes back, and nobody makes that special.
Yeah, and we were still amazed about it.
Yeah, like, a little, now it's gone, but this is a little a printer inside, and then it doesn't work, that's prototyping. And then a little printed thing, so if somebody even, if touchscreen came up, it didn't exist then yet, you can write down, darling, I really, really, really love you, had a great night. Boom, print it out, and the one person can save it again as a love letter.
Yeah.
You know, we found that technique forgot about heritage and forgot about sensitivity of what handwriting and amazement still is.
Yeah, we sound like old people, but the generation, my sister and her children, I think they will never write a real love letter. They will text it, SMS it, mail it, but not a real written one.
And maybe that's good, but we love heritage.
Yeah, so take a little bit of that quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to have that like with a feather writing. We don't do it anymore. We understand that's not functional anymore. But a little bit of that beauty, that would be nice to
after 20 years, you don't have to get a CD that maybe is already not working anymore. But you get a little box, and you say, this was my first mobile love letter. I think for 99% the computer drawings, if you put on the polygon lines, are more beautiful than the product that comes out. It's this beautiful drawing, but you can't touch it. The lines are zero. You see them, but you can never make it. And we wanted to see if we can get that sensitivity of this 2D picture into 3D. But the 2D and the 3D work totally different. And suddenly the sensitivity of these lines that you see on the screen are not here anymore. We thought it would be really nice to metalize it, so that it looks like it was made from like a craftsman made like a little sculpture. So I went to Germany with my shitty car and slept in the car in front of the factory until it opened, and they metalized it, went back, drove the wrong way to the Czech border, went back to Holland again.
We didn't have Tom yet.
No, and then suddenly we were in front of the client, and we showed this and this and this, and he said, but it's not the same as the image on there, the sensitivity, and he was right.
Yeah,
so we just put it there again. And maybe one day we get it off again. Maybe you guys find a solution in a different way. You know, I just think it's we want to do something now with molds, because if you see injection molds, they're beautiful art pieces. But what comes out is nothing. You know, so
plastic shoes. How are they called? Crocs. Yeah, I've seen the molds. They are so beautiful.
Yeah. So we want to do something with this mother of attention, this mother of art that pops out nothingness, and see if we can make it into something in a story. We saw a movie like a movie about I don't know, it was like a Louis XIV in France, and he had a garden party, and he had this huge crystal chandeliers hung outside for his garden party. We thought, would it not be amazing if you could have outdoor chandeliers? Just, you know, and one car commercial also had like on the road all like the chandeliers. So we just designed an outdoor chandelier, and the product development made it a real usable product.
Made a sketch.
Yeah, and waterproof, and then you can hang it in your bathroom and whatever. So
what kind of LEDs and very.
But you don't think that in one image. You know, you just think of a little story, and then it starts. This is one of the later prototypes. First we made cardboard models, so we sketch them, we cut it out, and we make like, I think, 25 different chandeliers, and we just looked at them all day, and then together with some freelancers and interns, we slowly moved it to this way.
Yeah.
First we had even crystals.
Yeah, plastic crystals.
Plastic crystals.
It really was not.
No. So and then suddenly the FATBOY, the director, came, Alex Bergman, and he said, "Why don't we cut them off?"
and then we cut them off at the meeting, and suddenly okay, now we're getting happy. So we're not only, you know, I'm really happy even if I don't know, the cleaner comes by and says, does this not work better? You know,
we're not
open
like for that. No, again, that ego thing. That some people start worrying, no, but then it's not my idea. Yeah, whatever. Like, it's a better idea, no? Let's collaborate in that sense. Like, an intern had a very good idea because we pitched. No, it was a freelancer, it was Kai. So we did a pitch. We had that big team going on, like 12 people, something like that, and we just pitched. Okay, we're gonna make a chandelier. This is the assignment. You go and do your thing. Yeah. Eventually, one freelancer came with actually the main concept, and we gave him just a good bonus. The chandelier, it's also, you know. We just bought a lamp. What was it? Yeah, Philip Stark did this for Baccarat. It's a very famous lamp. Yeah, Cartel. And so we just said, okay, but we wanted to be less yellow, more bright, but we like the thickness of the structure. Yeah, when you see the difference already in I don't know if you see it, but how bright this is and how yellow this is, even without the dust. So we are really fine-tuning also, like, if you do that, then you get a good product. Yeah, and LED is actually a nothing product. It's flat, it's bright, but it's a brilliant product because it costs so much less in producing energy, etc. And if you're doing a mass-produced product, I think then you should look at those things. Else you can also work with plutonium, I don't care, but if it's really going on the masses, then you should look. So we wanted to have it be like a light bulb. This prototype is wrong, but if this cone is actually designed that it shoots down the light back, so it looks like a glowing light. There's a little cone mirror is inside. Yeah, little cone mirror. And as soon as we thought of this, Philips already had it on the market. So we just asked for all the patents. We saw that it wasn't protected in a way that this is only for Philips. So happy for us, we could use this. Yeah. So no, and so this is really like going like this. And then you get a little bit that nostalgic feeling and not that ugly LED. Yeah, that you know that you work with what you're familiar with, and that you get an image of romance, because that's what a chandelier was for us, and still 21st century techniques. And this is handmade. It's just a turning on a turning machine. Then you get to a stage that it's printed. This is 3D printed. And then you get to a stage that a Chinese company is going to make it. And then you already have really the more complex parts. And what is now done is that this one, if you turn them on, is all different. And like the quality of the plastic. But this was too cold, so we are now, actually there's another model that's maybe not here, but it's warmer. Yeah. The light is so now we already, we're fine-tuning it. It's already on the market, but you always have to fine-tune or like develop it again, more, better. You get response from clients, hey, couldn't it be a little bit more warm, the light? Or, and then why all the speckles in the why couldn't it be like a smooth surface? Yeah. And then you redevelop it. Solar panels are actually real crystal. So chemically seen, it's crystal. Can you imagine that you put like such a jewel? It's like diamonds. You don't put them on the roof because for any reason. So we thought, why don't we can do something with this beautiful material, the silicium, and let the beauty come out of the material instead of these ugly square blocks on your roof that you think. Argh! So we are now, this is the prototype. We are asking, together with Rook Design, we're doing this project. We're asking graphic designers, because we're not good graphic designers. So we need other talents to make our concept and design better. And this is the first prototype of solar paneled graphics
on big buildings.
Yeah.
So you can have, the first thing you think of is an ivy. Growing with flowers, but you can also have, this is a horse, head of a horse with with medallions on it. You can do anything what a graphic designer can think of, graffiti, and it can be solar paneled on a building, and suddenly it becomes also something of beauty instead of only these ugly panels being functional. So just put it in a little different concept, a little. No.
Yeah, and it is a little bit less functional, of course, because you lose a lot when you cut it into a shape. But who cares? Then you put a little bit more.
Yeah, I think beauty and aesthetics should overcome only functional things. Else we can only get grey buildings with windows. And why should anything be beautiful? Why should we not all wear grey clothes? So beauty is important. Aesthetics are important. It just has to have a meaning and not only be styling. This is a prototype of the Cinderella table that's going to be destroyed. It's here a little bit for nostalgic reasons. Sometimes it goes wrong in production, and this is one was where it went wrong in the production. And the factory really did a bad job on finishing the inside
and the gluing.
And then we had a little discussion about that, and
Jeroen got angry.
And then I destroyed it, and then we have to throw it away.
This is the new table. So this is all stainless steel, and they all parts, like there are 165 parts, all bolted together with bolt and nuts.
Yeah, and you have to imagine that a lot of, we were in the beginning stage of just when we came out of the academy, I learned like for 3 months a 3D program. I'm not good at 3D program, and now maybe a good pilot, cut pilot can make it in one go. I made it in 165 pieces, and suddenly we thought maybe we should leave it like that, because then you see that each individual part has his own attention. Now, if you make it one surface, then you concentrate on one, but if you think this is different, this is different, this is different.
The inside of the table.
So it's bolted together with 2,500 screws and bolts.
And this is me. Or is this Judith?
No, it's you.
Yeah. So Franza Linke did that, like with the faces in furniture, with
romantic,
clients or religious objects. We thought like, let's do it with our own faces.
Yeah, I know. I was the head designer, and the most important person in my life are Judith and Joep. So that's the reason why I used their. Talk to each other. Don't lose each other's addresses. You probably in school now already know who you like and what your talents is, and if you have a connection with them, keep in contact at least. And if you have an idea, just make meetings, dinners, even parties, discuss about things. And if they're good, put some sketches on the internet, on Core 77, Design Boom, whatever. See what the reaction of the public is. And you should see, suddenly your email address is going to receive emails. For people to think, hey, I like this, I like this, I like this. So get it out there.
Yeah. And self-initiate projects, like don't care about your bank account, care about that you make it.
Yeah.
And do anything for that.
And so, try to convince people. No? And when I was a student, we needed money to produce this, and we didn't have money. So we did a simple thing. I went to the most expensive neighborhood in Holland and just this is my sketch, and I was sent away like 50 times. And I went to the bank. I said, you have an art collection. Why don't fund me as an artist?
They're still sorry that he didn't do that.
No, so
because the table was there for them nothing.
No.
And now it's worth a lot. So.
Yeah. So they didn't do it in the end. So in the end, for my father-in-law, I borrowed the money, and he got it back with interest. But the thing is, if you just really believe in your idea, go to the president, or I don't know what you have there, but just make it happen. Yeah, in any way.
And be not that modest. Like, I know sometimes it's your character, but don't be modest. Not like ego, like I'm fantastic. But don't be modest in the sense, if you really believe in it, you shout it. Like everybody should hear it.
Yeah, I know. We got 2 investors now, just because we were talking at a dinner, and you're talking to persons, and then suddenly you're talking about, would it not be great to do this, and this guy, we didn't know his bank account, didn't know nothing. He said, I want to work with you. And suddenly we realized he was really big. So that helps, no? But always keep communicating your story, because I think if you turn on the way of thinking, you're not suddenly a normal person and then you're the artist, designer, or whatever. You're always this person. If the story is on the storytelling machine, then it never stops, at least not in our minds. There are some people that when you're in a group, no, like let's do it with a campfire or in a cafe, there are some people that are very good at storytelling. Like you wish you had that talent. And like and they can even tell your story better. That's the same with design, but then shaping it. Yeah. Storytelling, it's maybe not finished, and it's just a very rough boulder, but I cannot paint. So it's no problem to just get the best painters in the world, say we did this with all of us. I needed you, I needed you, I needed you. Yeah. I just made an idea. Yeah. So
collaborate.
Collaborate, yeah. So
that's for us also design, to collaborate with different people and talents.
Yeah. And design is collaborating anyway. Yeah. If you can't collaborate as a designer, you must be or damn brilliant or very lonely.
Yeah. Mostly lonely, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.